Jesus or Yeshua? Does the name we call Christ actually matter? Let's walk through the history so you can sit with it and decide for yourself. The man we now call Jesus was born at Yeshua in Judah, a Jewish province under Roman occupation. His full Hebrew name was Yeshua, meaning Yahweh is salvation. That comes from Yad-Heh-Vaveh, the tetragrammaton, the sacred name of the God of Israel, usually pronounced Yahweh. The second part of his name, Shua, comes from a root meaning a cry for help. So his name doesn't just mean God saves, it also means God save me. It holds both declaration and desperation, relationship and surrender. But over time, that depth was lost in translation. When his teaching spread outside his community, the name changed. By the time the Gospels were written, Greek was the dominant language. They rendered Yeshua as Jesus because Greek didn't have a Y sound, and masculine names often ended in S. Just like that, Yah, the name of God, was gone. Next came Latin. Jesus turned into Jesus. Still no J, and still no Hebrew roots. Eventually, English took over, and by the 16th century, the letter J was introduced. That's when Jesus became Jesus, a name that had never existed before. It carried no Hebrew, no Yah, and no ancestral memory. Yeshua was a phrase that held divinity. Jesus is just a sound or a title. And the more the name changed, the more it became useful to Rome, not Nazareth. Because Rome needed to reshape the faith to fit an empire. Yeshua was too Jewish, too raw, too revolutionary, so they rebranded him as Christ the King. Meanwhile, the God of Israel, his God, was replaced with Deus, a Latin word meaning sky god. The divine shifted from relational to hierarchical, from breath to sky, from within to above. Over time, Jesus stopped being a name for a man and became a name for a power. And when billions of people pour worship into a sound that no longer holds its original meaning, you don't just have a name anymore, you have an egregore. Egregores are real because the collective makes it real. They respond to prayer, but they're not the same as the source. The egregore of Jesus, shaped by empire, sits on a throne, demands obedience, and is used to justify war, colonization, and patriarchy. We focus more on his crucifixion than his original message. But Yeshua flipped tables, he healed with his hands, he taught us that the kingdom is within, and showed us the real embodiment of God in man. Now, does this really matter? To me, it does. Would you answer to a name your mother didn't give you? Because I wouldn't. Names are sacred and they carry a specific vibration and frequency. That's why initiates receive new names. The name holds the mission. So if we call on a name that's been distorted beyond recognition, we have to ask ourselves, who are we actually calling on and what are we powering when we do? That's just my belief. I would love to hear yours down in the comment section. And if you're into religion, spiritual history, and weaving a fragmented God back into its whole, give me a follow.